Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into self-reflection?
Always ready.
Today we're exploring 50 journal prompts, all about unlocking deeper self-awareness.
And maybe some aha moments you weren't expecting.
Exactly. Sometimes those everyday thoughts and feelings hold the keys to some serious personal growth, don't you think?
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Our guide for this journey is an article, 50 Journal Prompts for Reflection,
Oh, nice.
from Lestallion, a website dedicated to all things journaling. They've grouped these prompts smartly, I think, into 5 categories:
Like what?
personal growth, emotions, relationships,
Okay.
daily life, and goals and aspirations.
Sounds like a roadmap to your inner world. I like it.
Right. It's a choose-your-own-adventure for personal growth.
I'm in. Let's pick a category.
Okay. How about personal growth? One prompt that caught my eye is, what's one thing you've learned about yourself this past month?
Seems simple, but I bet there's a lot there.
Right. I'm curious about those small, almost daily reflections.
Yeah, it's funny. We often think of growth as these big, dramatic changes,
Totally.
but they're usually built on tiny, almost invisible shifts in our thinking, right?
Yeah.
Journaling about what we've learned, even if it seems minor, helps us become more aware of those shifts.
Maybe even speeds up our growth.
Exactly, like those micro workouts, small efforts, consistent practice.
Big results.
Boom.
I love that analogy. Makes me think of how we form habits, too. Small changes, consistently applied, lead to major transformations.
Oh yeah, for sure. And speaking of habits, another prompt in this category that stood out to me was, how did you handle a difficult situation with resilience?
Interesting.
Have you ever noticed how some people seem to bounce back from challenges while others get stuck?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Reflecting on how we've navigated tough times,
Yeah.
it can reveal a lot about our personal resilience strategies, right?
Yeah.
And maybe even highlight areas where we could, build more inner strength.
It's like taking stock of your personal toolkit, for dealing with life's curveballs.
Exactly. Exactly. You might even find some hidden tools you didn't realize you had.
I like that.
And speaking of tools, Lestallion says, growth happens when we reflect on our journey. Take pride in how far you've come and stay curious about where you're headed.
Oh, I like that.
It's that balance, right, of recognizing your achievements and staying open to continuous learning.
That fuels real personal growth.
It does.
Now that we're talking about recognizing achievements and growth, it makes me think about how connected it is to understanding our emotions.
You're so right. Personal growth is deeply intertwined with our emotional landscape.
It's like you can't have one without the other.
Can't. The more we understand our emotions, the better equipped we are to navigate challenges,
Oh, yeah.
make choices,
Mm,
and cultivate inner peace.
so true. And this emotions category is full of prompts to do just that.
I
One that stood out to me is, what brought you deep joy recently? Seems like a nice counterpoint to all the prompts focused on challenges.
Oh, for sure. It's like we spend so much time analyzing our struggles that we forget to savor the good moments.
Yeah.
This prompt isn't just about identifying those moments.
Right.
It's about understanding what brings us joy and figuring out how to invite more of those experiences into our lives.
Training your brain to seek out the good stuff, rather than always focusing on what's wrong. Could that be a form of positive psychology in action?
You're onto something there. There's a whole field of research dedicated to that idea. Focusing on positive emotions can rewire our brains
Oh, wow.
for happiness and resilience. Journaling about those moments of joy, that might be a powerful way to amplify those benefits.
Okay, so we've explored joy, but what about the other end of the spectrum? There's also the prompt, how do you recharge when overwhelmed? I, personally, when I get stressed, I kind of shut down. But I'm sure there are healthier ways to cope.
Oh, totally. That's a great prompt. It encourages you to become aware of your coping mechanisms. Some people recharge by being alone, others by connecting with loved ones.
Right.
The key is to identify what truly helps you restore your energy. Find those pockets of calm
I like that.
amidst the chaos,
Lestallion phrases it beautifully. Your emotions are valid and meaningful. By understanding them, you unlock the ability to nurture yourself and grow stronger.
Powerful.
Sort of powerful reminder to be kind to ourselves, especially when overwhelmed.
It is. It's about recognizing that our emotions are not the enemy. They're messengers trying to tell us something.
Oh, I like that.
By listening to those messages, we can learn to meet our own needs with compassion and understanding.
Okay, so we've talked about personal growth and emotions. Should we move on to relationships?
Let's do it.
This is a category I think we could all use a little help with sometime.
Oh, for sure. Before we dive into the prompts, I think it's important to note that relationships doesn't just mean romantic ones.
Right.
These prompts can apply to friends, family, coworkers, even those fleeting connections we make.
That's a good point. So which prompts in this category stand out to you?
Well, there's one that could shift our perspective on how we interact with others, I think. How do you show appreciation for others? It's easy to take people for granted, but taking a moment to reflect on how we express appreciation,
Yeah.
it can help us become more mindful of nurturing those connections, like practicing gratitude, but with an action plan.
Ooh, I like that. And, on the flip side of appreciation, there's that prompt about conflict.
Oh, right.
It asks, what did you learn from a recent conflict you resolved? I have to admit, I usually try to avoid conflict,
Yeah, me too.
but I know it's just a natural part of any relationship.
It really is. Avoiding it can make things worse in the long run.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
This prompt, it encourages you to see conflict not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity, for growth and understanding. By reflecting on how we handle conflict, we can learn to communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships,
That makes sense.
more resilient ones, too.
Lestallion sums it up nicely. Healthy relationships thrive on understanding and effort. Reflect on how you can bring more kindness and connection to those who matter.
That's a good one.
It's a good reminder that relationships need work, but the rewards are worth it.
Totally agree. And thinking about effort and intention in relationships makes me want to jump to the next category,
Okay.
daily life. It's easy to get so caught up in the big picture
Yeah.
that we forget to pay attention to the small, everyday moments.
So true. And these prompts seem designed to bring those moments into focus.
Like which ones?
Well, one that caught my eye is, what habits energize you in the morning? I'm a total night owl, so mornings are always a struggle. But maybe if I focused on creating habits that actually energized me,
Yeah, that would help.
they wouldn't feel like such a chore.
There's actually a lot of research on how those morning routines can set the tone for your whole day.
Interesting.
Even small things, like getting sunlight or moving your body,
Right.
can impact your energy and mood.
So it's like you're priming your mind for a more positive and productive day.
Exactly.
Like little dominoes that set off a chain reaction.
Yes. One small change can lead to a cascade of positive outcomes.
And then on the other end of the day, there's that prompt, how could you make your evenings more relaxing? It's tough.
Ah!
In our always-on culture, it's easy to let work and technology bleed into our downtime.
For sure. But creating space for rest and rejuvenation is so important.
I really struggle with that. I'm always checking emails and scrolling, even when I'm supposed to be relaxing.
We've all been there.
I wonder if journaling about how to create a calming evening routine would help me break those habits.
I mean, it's definitely worth a try, right? Sometimes just writing down our intentions can make them feel more real, more achievable. And you might be surprised by the ideas you come up with.
Lestallion reminds us, your daily life is a reflection of your habits and mindset. Small, intentional changes can create a ripple effect of positivity. I love that ripple effect idea.
It's inspiring, right?
Yeah.
Empowering to think that even the smallest changes in our routines can have a big impact on our well-being.
It's like we're not just journaling for ourselves, we're creating a ripple effect that goes outward.
To our relationships, maybe even the world.
That's a beautiful thought. Okay, we've explored a lot of different aspects of our lives, but I feel like there's one big piece missing.
Oh, what's that?
Our goals and aspirations.
You're right. Let's dive into that final category, goals and aspirations. These prompts are all about figuring out what we want to achieve.
And creating a plan to get there.
Exactly.
One that speaks to me is, what's one small step you can take towards your biggest dream?
I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed by the enormity of our goals,
Oh, yeah.
We don't even know where to start.
You freeze up. Yeah. But if we break it down into tiny steps, it suddenly feels a lot more attainable.
For sure. It's like climbing a mountain, If you focus on the summit, it's daunting. But if you just focus on putting one foot in front of the other,
Yeah.
you'll get there eventually.
I like that. And there's also the prompt, what did you learn from someone who achieved a goal you admire? I think we often underestimate the power of mentorship.
Right. Even if it's indirect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Learning from other people's journeys can give us insights and strategies.
That we can apply to our own lives. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's so much wisdom out there
Yeah.
if we're just open to it. Sometimes hearing someone else's story can give us the courage to go after our own dreams.
Mhm.
even if they seem impossible.
Speaking of pursuing dreams, the article says, your aspirations are a roadmap to your future. Reflect on your goals with confidence and trust in your ability to achieve them. That's a nice reminder.
It is. It's a reminder that we have the power,
Yeah.
to create the future we want.
And it's not just about achieving those big, audacious goals.
Right. It's about enjoying the journey,
The process.
learning from setbacks, celebrating each step we take.
As we're talking about this, I'm realizing these 50 journal prompts are more than just writing exercises.
What are they?
They're tools for self-discovery, growth, creating a life that's aligned with our values.
I completely agree. And I think the magic happens when we move beyond just writing the answers and we start taking action.
Bridging the gap between reflection and action.
Exactly. This whole conversation has got me thinking, what stands out to you, dear listener?
Ooh, good question.
What prompt has resonated with you the most, and what action are you inspired to take because of what you've heard today?
Yeah, it's like they spark ideas and then send us off on these mini quests,
Mini quests, I love that. So playful, but accurate. Because even those small actions inspired by the prompts,
Yeah.
they can lead to bigger shifts in our thinking, our behavior over time.
This has been such a cool exploration of self-reflection. I think it's safe to say these 50 prompts are just the beginning.
Oh, for sure. Just the tip of the iceberg.
Like invitations to a much deeper conversation with ourselves.
It's an ongoing process, not a destination. And it's not always easy or comfortable.
Definitely not.
But the more we do it, the more we understand ourselves. And the better we can navigate life with intention and purpose.
It's like we're peeling back layers of ourselves, revealing hidden strengths, uncovering new possibilities.
And sometimes those layers, they can be messy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Confusing, but that's okay. It's all part of the process.
Lestallion's article says, growth happens when we reflect on our journey. Take pride in how far you've come and stay curious about where you're headed.
Love that.
It's that balance of self-acceptance and continuous learning that fuels personal growth.
So true. It's about embracing the journey, all the ups and downs, and recognizing that self-reflection, well, it's a lifelong thing.
Before we wrap up, I have one last prompt for you,
Yep.
dear listener, inspired by our conversation.
Oh, I'm intrigued. A bonus prompt. Hit me with it.
If you could ask your future self one question about the path you're on right now, what would it be?
Wow. That's powerful. It's like bringing your future wisdom into the present. What a beautiful way to connect with your aspirations, get a glimpse of what's possible.
I hope that sparks some reflection for you as you continue on your own journey of self-discovery.
And remember, even if you don't have all the answers right now, even asking the question is a step. It's an intention, invites curiosity, opens up space for new insights.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into self-reflection. I hope you found some new tools, inspiration to cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and live a more intentional, fulfilling life.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep reflecting, and keep writing your own story.